then we're supposed to leave that disc on the city clerk's
Yeah.
outside the window.
Oh,
Okay.
my brother's here from California.
Well, you guys look all good on the monitor.
Way down there.
Yeah.
Hi, this is different. Don't even see anything.
Somebody go over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was nice in the circle.
Yeah, it's in there.
Better when we're
I like it
looking
in
at each
circle
other.
too.
Well, I trust it's in there.
Well, you never know.
Weird.
5 meter in the mirror seat. That's pretty cool. You're in the mirror seat?
I know, we haven't. We haven't been here since the beach.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Like, what good is that?
So is Mickey, no, Mickey's not coming, is he?
No, Mickey. Today's his birthday.
Yes.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, so he had the day off. And
Would you want to
then,
come to this on his birthday?
pardon me, yeah, I don't know why, Liz, but yeah. And Jeff, I know they were cutting the tree today, and I don't know where that's at, so I don't know if you want to.
Well, appreciate you on your Friday night, you know, being here.
Cost me Bluefish, invitation for Bluefish.
All right.
I made him give me a rain check though, so I'm not out.
Good, good.
Well, I know my wife appreciated you guys moving until Friday, so thank you.
That's right, happy birthday to your wife.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we had quite the shindig yesterday.
Good.
Yeah, it was like, she was emotional, she cried, so like, everything I wanted her to do. So it was like, she loved me when I got back home, so.
Well, man.
you.
Happy wife, happy life. I guess there's a lot.
That's right.
We're not being recorded yet, are we?
No.
Yeah, this is, go ahead, it's a nice shout out.
Yeah, let me talk about when I got home. All right, Kathy, you want to hit the record button? All right, so this is something new. So evidently from the city council meetings, they want all the meetings recorded for the public, be able to review, and also for the city council. So, and that's with everybody now. So all the meetings will be up here, because obviously you got the speakers and we're
It'll
all.
just be recorded or video?
Yep. What's that?
Video or recorded?
Video and recording.
Okay.
That's all on that monitor over there that you can see. Over
I
by
like it
Kathy.
because it
my
was so
hair.
laid back.
If I'd known I was going to be on TV, it just would have been different. So. All right, we'll call to order. Got roll call.
Kelly Greavy,
Here.
Liz Lasky, Laney,
Here.
and Tim O'Connor.
Here.
All set, sir. Thank you.
Also, we got a dude called Bob.
I'm sorry,
He's in the mayor's seat.
Mr. Brooks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Approval of the agenda. Any questions?
I move.
I'll second the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I don't think we got any public hearing going on right now. Citizen public comment? Yeah, come on up.
Can I stay here?
I think you got to be in the video, I believe.
Where do I have to go?
The podium is usually there though, and it's not.
Yeah.
Here?
Sure. Yeah, because right there, is she in the camera?
I can.
Yeah.
I am. Okay, my name is Jane Seaver, and I live at 1367 West Fox Farm Road in Violet Township. And I have been cleaning up the little tree garden, which is across from the former senior center. There's a little tree garden and there's a butterfly garden, but I'm doing the tree garden. And what I was here to ask tonight is, we've pulled out a lot of old dead shrubbery and we would like to replace it. And I was hoping you just give me carte blanche credit card and I could just go buy all kinds of shrubbery and everything and fill it all back in. And actually I need to know what steps I take. Is that possible? Is there a fund to replace trees? Do I submit a proposal?
Do you have any idea as far as how many shrubs and how many trees?
We haven't totally cleaned it all out yet.
Okay.
The weather's kind of been prohibitive of doing some things, and it was actually much more of a job than I anticipated. And so we're kind of to the west end right now, and we still have a lot of overgrown shrubbery there. So I'm not even sure how far, actually on both sides it's U-shaped, it even goes, because there's so much overgrown shrubbery yet. But we've pulled out a lot of the lower stuff, the bigger trees seem to be pretty good. So probably, we're looking at like maybe 5 or 6 shrubs like azaleas or rhododendron, things like that like flower at certain times of the year, but also that will take shade. And, yeah, we have some ideas. I just didn't know how much room we had exactly or what else has to be removed yet. Because some of it's in pretty bad shape. It's been hacked down so many times. A lot of it's just stubble with some shoots coming out of it.
You know, what's the process for that, Kathy? I mean, obviously, that's a deep bad land.
City, the tree commission and city would, a resident, or even the city tree here on city property outside of City Hall, goes before the tree commission. I have a form for tree removal. I can email it to you. You can stop down and visit, and fill it out, and what you're requesting, the location, what's going on with the tree. And the tree commission, a member will go and inspect that and okay it, and we can go start. That's a starting point. Are the
Shrubs, aren't they? I mean, you're talking.
they're
about
shrubs or trees?
Shrubs.
Shrubs.
Well, most of them are shrubs. There are some trees. There's some
You're just talking shrubs?
And right now, we're removing those. We've removed a lot of, I didn't know I was supposed to get permission. Can I ask for
Yeah,
permission on that one? They were just all overgrown and some just little spikes here and there of what was left of them we took out.
Did you, Mrs. Sievert, ever do the Adopt a Park form? That would be something to do, and then you say what you're going to do in that, and then Mr. McCullough, our director, will approve it, and then it's like you adopted that park.
Yeah.
That,
Jane is also part of Manistee Proud, and she's in charge of the art park on River Street.
oh yes,
She's totally cleaned that up.
Totally.
And
oh, I know that,
And spent her own money.
I know
So
that.
She's a good community-oriented person.
I guess I would like to suggest the Spirit of the Woods Garden Club. You know, they take on projects like that too. If it doesn't move fast enough to replace what you need, they might be able to help.
I know a lot of people from there. They have lots of projects. And sometimes trying to get everybody together is harder than just doing it yourself.
Well, yeah.
And
I
that's-
think some viewers experienced that.
And so I have a nice crew of my husband and a friend, and we don't mind doing it, but I'm obviously not following protocol with removing trees.
But haven't you talked to Mickey about it though, Jane?
He has been, well, he dropped off mulch for me one day. When we were mulching, there was an area we wanted to, I weeded in that little tree garden there. And I wanted some mulch, it's a part that's closer to the sidewalk. There's a tree in the middle of it with some grass and a bunch of weeds. And we weeded it and then mulched it. And we did actually the butterfly garden section too that day. And so he's aware of it, and I call him and let him know when I've ripped out a bunch of stuff. And he said when the guys start by, he'll pick it up for me.
Isn't there something we can do to help
Yeah,
her get funding?
I was gonna say, if she's put her money in the other park, we're just
Oh, wow.
talking a few shrubs here. I think we don't ever wanna discourage, it's like that Manistee project. When the citizens come forward and put in all those hours
Exactly.
and their own money and their equipment and their, it's like, I think we're talking a few $100s here for shrubs. If there was any way we could support this
We need to.
and pay for it and get her the money. I don't know where that would come out of, but
That would be-
I'll follow the tree commission thing, if they'll consider shrubs trees. and so
They
we
would,
figure out-
the tree, yeah, the shrubs, yeah.
I can, once we get everything all cleaned out, and we kind of get an idea of what spaces we have, and what we want to fill in, what we want to fill it in with, I can then put together a list of the trees and then get an idea of how much they all cost,
What it would cost to keep
and
do what we need to.
submit it to the tree commission. That's the
Don't
proper
have to go to
steps.
another meeting.
Oh, yes.
Sound like the proper steps?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would start with Mr. Bakula, our director.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you because part of it is what's in the budget for planting, even shrubs, trees.
And I mean, we provide all the free labor. I don't expect the city to plant any of it.
I understand.
And they just,
I understand.
I think, Jane, if you come up with your proposal, we're gonna support you, you know, and then, but I think come up with your proposal on what you'd like to do, along with what you would like to plant there, and then we get some type of estimate for that,
Yeah.
you know, from the nursery, or wherever that. I would take that and then I would present that to Jeff,
Right.
and we're gonna support you on that,
You would present it to Jeff.
yes,
so instead of going through the tree commission, come back to you. Is that
yes,
what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, so I would, yeah, you don't have to go through Jeff, we'll do that for you. So if you come back to us with your proposal and have it drawn out, I mean, even like a picture,
Sure.
you know, and some kind of an idea, and then projected cost, which I think would be easy to get, to be honest with you, from the nursery. And then we'll take that, we'll approve that, and then we'll take that to Jeff, you know, for your improvement, for your project. So we were talking, we gotta reward you. I mean, it's enough that you've done everything that you've done, and like, I would think that that's not a huge budget item to replace some shrubs and beautification, which is what we're supposed to be doing. So that's within our realm, I would think. So, yeah. So, yeah, we'll approach that for you. So just come back with your proposal
Okay,
and what you would like to see and projected cost, and then we'll take it from there for you.
so is there a problem, because this probably won't be until spring,
Oh, no.
obviously, but is there a problem with continue to clean out that little area?
I would suggest you go through the Adopt a Park program, and then, you know, you've got official approval to do that. Just so you're covered and the city knows what's going on.
Okay, okay, and who do I see to get you?
Can you as long as-
Online, yeah, Kathy.
Online or
Yeah, there's
stop and
forms
visit.
online.
Okay,
It's a real simple process, so
okay.
it's not intimidating at all. And then it's, you know, Jeff really, he'll appreciate it. So chances are, you know, it'll work.
Thank you for what you're doing. That's,
I love it.
you notice it. Dan doesn't notice anything, and he said, wow, that park's really changed, that art park. I mean, he said, what happened? I go, Jane Seifert took it over, you know, you're from skiing.
Thank you for that board.
You're bored, Jane.
Not anymore. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. Appreciate it very much.
I'll sit here and listen for
All right, moving on, we got the approval of the minutes from the September 16, 2021. Everybody have a chance to read that? Everybody's comments?
Sure, I wasn't there.
So you and I have to abstain.
Yeah.
So there's not a quorum to approve that, is there?
Pardon me?
If two of us can't vote on these minutes because we weren't there, can you vote on it?
I think so.
I think so.
I vote, make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any correspondence we received?
All in favor?
What's that? Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Any correspondence?
Our corresponding secretary has something?
She's corresponding. This is from, and Tim, I believe, Brandon Jensen contacted you. And this, I just wanted to give you, Mr. Jensen's last email. He wants to attend the December meeting and discuss, things for the, First Street Beach. Representing,
Thank you.
the historical and things like that. So I just wanted to let you know what he'd like to discuss.
I think he wants to be invited to one of our meetings, right?
He's hoping for December's.
Okay, for December?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I read that. we're gonna come to, but, yeah, I would think we would invite him to our December meeting to talk about that in great detail, or more detail. I don't think anything needs to be approved on it, right? Just an invitation. Got any committee reports? At all?
Committee reports. Oh, so I have, from a committee in terms of Manistee, Man-Made Lake and Fifth Avenue Beach.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing well. People are out fishing on the pier all the time. They're up fishing now along the beach. They are catching steelhead. The beach house is now closed and been winterized, so that's been accomplished and it's really good. And people are walking around Man-Made Lake frequently with their dogs unleashed.
Still.
When I go through the parking lot at Man-Made Lake, there continues to be beer cans all around and litter. So a group of us just occasionally walk through and pick them up. That's pay for our wages, but anyway, that's all I know about Man-Made Lake and Fifth Avenue Beach.
Okay, very good. Any old business? So Bill got a hold of me, there's something that we need to approve of the countywide recreational plan. So do you know the specifics on that at all? That was presented to us.
That was that Networks
Yeah,
North.
when he came here and presented.
Right.
Let me just look that up. Oh, basically what they want to add, one item that came up, the Manistee non-motorized trail park does not appear to be listed on the Manistee inventory in the master plan. City Manistee includes pages A to 42 through A of 46 of Appendix A, F26, F29. So can this be added? And so in order to add that, we have to vote on that and approve that. So that's just the one amendment that Bill had emailed me. So all he wants to add is the Manistee non-motorized trail park does not appear to be on it. So,
Is that in the city limits? It must be.
yeah, absolutely. So,
It makes sense.
yeah, absolutely. So make a motion to approve that.
I second.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
A lot better, huh? Very good. So I'll get with Bill and tell him that that's been approved. Do I do that, Kathy?
Like,
Okay, I'll email him tomorrow and get a hold of that, so. New business, we have to come up with the 2022 meeting dates. It's typically been the third Thursday of the month. I don't see any reason to change that unless you guys want to. I think I gave a proposal to Heather of the meeting dates. Kathy, well, you're right on top of things, look at that. So this is what I sent Heather, so it just needs to be approved for you guys. If anybody has any conflicts with any of those dates.
I make a motion to approve the proposed meeting dates for 2022 as presented.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Very good, nice. I let Heather know that, or Kathy, do you let her know?
I will let her know.
You will?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Yep. Recap on items that have been previously discussed. If we look at the meeting minutes, first of all, I just want to apologize. I don't know if we would have met quorum in October when I was in the beautiful state of Colorado. So I didn't mean to cancel like that. But are we still having an issue with emails?
I've been more, what would be the word, diligent at checking the city's email, yeah. And so you gotta make yourself do it a couple times a week.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, that's the,
I mean,
that's the issue.
yeah, Kathy was asking me questions of whether we were gonna do it or not, and I wasn't hearing back from people, and I'm like, I didn't think we were gonna have quorum, because I thought Lanny was gonna be gone. And then also, I thought I was gonna be gone also, so I'm like, if we're not gonna be quorum, there's really not a necessity to do that, but I'm just wondering whether emails, we have to email, because that's a requirement, but also texting.
Just the texting reminder is good for me, because I don't check that email as often as I should.
Yeah,
I was fine with that. I don't know where the miscommunication was,
yeah, I was on my part, so
you know.
I take the blame. That's Chair Tim O'Connor. But yeah, all of a sudden, I'm like, then maybe you guys would have made quorums. I don't like to cancel meetings unless we absolutely have to, so. But, so I think in the future, emails, are you getting the city emails?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone's getting the city emails?
Yes.
So the first thing is, if I send out any city emails to address anything, I will always send them by email, and then I also will text.
Good.
And then let you guys know, please read your emails. You know, and just correspond that way. It's just a double check,
How about a
basically.
phone call too and say, hey, can you come?
Yeah.
A text would be awesome.
Yeah, so the third would be a phone call. If I don't, it would be nice though, if I text you guys, just get a response back. You know, like, hey,
Okay.
you got it. No, you're fine. So, but just to get a text back saying, hey, I got it, I read the email, you know, and just in some type of response, because I don't like keeping Kathy in lingo. It's kind of like wondering sometimes whether it just, I think that created a little bit of confusion for October. So if you guys could get back to me quickly when I text you, that would be awesome. Within 24 hours would be nice, to be honest with you. Too much to ask. And I think we got everybody's current phone numbers, do we not? We coded. Kathy, are we updated on that? Do you know?
I'm sorry?
The updated phone numbers for every member that's up here? Do we have a list?
Of our 5, yes. I only made 1 copy, but I can get everybody one.
See that quick and just have them just double check it? Sure. I like making Kathy come up here.
What?
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Exhibit A. You guys can look that over, just make sure your numbers are correct. You look at it, Ellen? Does it say that? We have no applications for our 2 open positions.
How about you, Jane?
I know, I talked to her on the way up here.
She'd be great.
She goes, you're strong-arming me. She almost left. She almost went back to her car.
Oh, I don't work anymore.
She's a go-getter. Yeah.
Sure you do, just not there.
Yeah.
Maybe twist your
So,
arm.
We are a fun commission.
I can tell.
Donuts
It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, we'll do whatever. You want to bring? We'll bring you food.
Or shrubs.
And we'll pay you.
so you need to look at this if you're gonna text me.
Look at what?
My phone number. My cell phone doesn't work at home, but I get texts.
Okay. Is your area code? What's your area code?
231.
231.
Both of those.
Is everybody 231?
No, I'm 6.
Yeah, 616.
517.
Can I write 231 on?
Jane says 6.
Both of them.
Yeah. Kathy, can you update this for us, or to retype it and send it out to everybody?
Absolutely.
Give it to her.
So this is going to be my second form of communication with texting all of you. So the number that you have all listed is available by text then, correct?
The cell phone.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Anybody have any other things they want to discuss on the recap of anything on the September 16th comments?
Is the riverbank done?
I believe so. I had a citizen stop in the other day, and he was extremely excited about it. Like Jeff said, they used composite decking, and he thought it was very, very beautiful and very nice. So
Check that out today.
I think they're doing finishing touches, the punch list things, but from what I've heard, I haven't walked it, but what I heard was very nice. Very, very nice.
We get that Minger grant in?
We haven't heard anything back about the Minger
It was
grant.
submitted.
Yeah. According to Jeff, everything was submitted and it went, they accepted it, so hopefully we'll get some type of notification about that. I did talk to Tom Oley. I had an opportunity at one of the city council meetings that they ordered new buckets for Red Summersky Park. So those are gonna be replaced and new ones are gonna be established, so Tom is still all about the Lighthouse Park too, as far as spearheading that, or helping us with that, so I'm kind of excited to figure out what's gonna come back with the Minger grant with that. On the new business, I did do a presentation to the city council on October the 5th, so I think it went extremely well.
It was very good.
Yeah, so it was, I gotta be honest with you, it's the first time I approached the city council. It's like approaching like the Supreme Court. Like when you're up there and everybody's seated here, I'm like, that whole day I did not want to do it. So, and Lanny did the last one, I remember. You know, we kind of did it together. It's nerve-wracking. It is. You just want you just want to come across and say everything. But I think, and I gave you a copy of that report. You know, my main focus to the city council is we have a lot of work to do, and we need more cooperation. Basically, what I'm going to say. I mean, I didn't approach everything as a negative. I just said that there's a lot of stuff that we need to do, that we need to move forward. I mean, our parks and our beaches are an important asset to Manistee, and we're far behind, as you all know, as far as what probably needs to be done. So, pretty positive meeting, but what I got out of that October city council meeting is that we need to attend more. You know, and it's not just me, but I think always to have a face from the park commission there. They know who I am now, you know, from the first meeting and then coming to the second and coming to the third. So I actually have city council members coming up and talking to me, you know, in the chair out there before they even start their meetings, you know, so. But I plan being a voice in 2022 more so than I ever have been. If we're not progressing the way we need to be, the only avenue we have is the city council and make them accountable for that. So I would just like us to do that. I don't want to be the old sole voice of the Park Commission. I would love all of you guys to participate. You know, if you can attend one of those, you know, or we can attend them together, I think it's just important that we go to those, because it seems like every meeting there's a topic to be discussed that involves the parks. You know, so, and just to be there and listen to what's going on, I think is very valuable. So it'd be nice to see some of you there and maybe help. But I'm pretty much determined that's how we're going to direct our concerns. So I'm not going to Jeff. I'm not going to the DPW. If we make suggestions and we're not getting the progress that we need to go, I just plan on addressing the city council. And they told me to do that. Yeah. So that's going to be I think our new avenue, if you guys like that idea. But I just want them to know that we're here and we're looking at getting things done. So I basically told them we should be a little bit embarrassed of how our parks are looking. And it shouldn't all be the volunteers needing to do everything. That's just a maintenance issue that's been lagging for a very long time, as you all know. So, and I don't like, to be honest with you, and I don't know if this goes in there, I don't like how some of our commission members have been treated for wanting to volunteer and for wanting to help. We shouldn't meet resistance. So I plan on addressing that head on too. So I think that it needs to be a cooperative effort, you know, with everybody. So hopefully we can get to that point. So, but it's very productive. And the second time I came up to talk, it was actually even better. So now I'm very comfortable. I don't have any issues whatsoever. They represent us up here. They do. It's like we're part of the Parks Commission. We're representing the citizens and what we need to do for them. So I'm like, don't have any problem voicing concerns. So looking forward to going a little bit further with that. So, anybody else have anything else they want to discuss for going further?
Well, that Morton Park, we talked about, well, there was a dog park. It looks like we're going ahead with the equipment, but I think we want to still consider if we want playground there with the dog park, or if we want it to just be a dog park. There is some incompatibility between
Yes.
both of them.
It is honestly one of the issues I brought up in the October meeting, that we seem to talk about things that never get done.
Yes.
And then one of the city council members actually goes, you're talking about things that we were talking about when I was on the Parks Commission 10 years ago.
Yes.
And I'm like, this tends to be the issue and tends to be the problem. And how they address that is, well, sometimes we're not coming at the right time when city budgets are concerned. So if there's no money, there's just no money to do anything. So we have to be involved in that process too with our projects that we want to go forward with. But if we have proposals and they're being accepted, we actually need to take the responsibility of following it, going forward with it.
So then we should analyze this, because if the guy's gonna come with the equipment, you know, it's gonna be $35,000. If you could put that money into water at the dog park, a nice fencing, double fencing and, and then have the state of the art for large dogs, because it's very small at First Street Beach. I mean, that's a dog social gathering
Right.
for the owners, but it's not a dog run as such, unless you've got a miniature something.
So this is what I see, is that our project for 2021, for the most part, as our commission, was a lighthouse park, And I also, along with that, I see the beautification of what Kelly has been doing, as far as the cleanup and all that stuff. And I think what we need to do as a commission is label our projects and our priorities for 2022 and then see them to completion. So they don't get bypassed and they don't get skipped. Because I'll be honest with you, it's overwhelming what we have to do. But I think we got to start prioritizing. And I think that would be a good chance in December to do that, come forward. You guys all let me know what you think are good projects that we need to go forward that are obtainable. Because I think part of the frustration, to be honest with you, on this park commission, it just doesn't seem to get progress. We don't seem to do progress. I want that lighthouse park to be done. That was a project that we've all talked about and has been on the agenda for quite a while. I want to see that through. And then once we see that through, then what's going to be our next project that we'd like to take on? I think sometimes there's so much to do, but it drives me crazy. I know it drives you crazy, so.
Well, I think I agree with Liz. Why aren't we, with $35,000, discussing, why are we only talking about playground equipment?
Right.
Well, that wasn't our proposal.
Yeah.
Jeff came in with that, and it's like,
So, was that money in the 2022 budget?
Yeah, I know.
it doesn't have to be spent on playground equipment. We can spend it,
Right.
spend it now on,
Because when we discussed it, we were talking about updating the basketball courts, parking. Those were the things that I heard when it was the last meeting I was here to discuss Morton Park.
See, and I think that's where we're just getting into just spinning our wheels, is that there's a lot of things that are proposed and discussed and are there, but nothing followed.
Well, the other question is there was a question if Morton Salt was actually on board with the city yet. And has that been answered? Because there was a whole deal,
when it's sold.
right, and how were they gonna feel? There was a new manager there. We never got an answer,
And someone, was it Jeff, someone was gonna go speak to Morton and find that out.
Yeah,
We never
and,
did hear.
right, so I'd like to hear, why, if Morton Salt doesn't like us anymore as a city,
Right.
why would we even put any money in there if they're gonna take that property back? They may need it.
Right.
And I haven't heard,
Something that I have noticed is
Okay.
that people will take their dogs to the ball field on the corner of First and Cherry to let their dogs run because there's a
Sure.
big space.
And it's fenced in.
And it's fenced in.
Right.
There's not another space in town like that.
We're
Man-made,
looking for,
man-made, let the dogs run all the time on man-made.
Is that?
but it's not fenced in.
Oh, right,
A lot,
It's in, but let the dogs run all the time unleashed.
right.
okay? No, they're not supposed to be unleashed.
But there's no place for
yeah,
a
there's no
dog to
play, and
run.
dogs have to run.
Right, they do. But here's the other thing. Has anybody ever, had a town hall meeting with the neighborhood near Morton?
I thought we talked about with the Morton Park.
What-
To involve
what
the
do they-
community.
What do they want? What do they feel their neighborhood needs?
Well, Jeff was supposed to get back with me, it never happened. So I think this is just one of those things that we need, like we talk, always having citizen input. They get somehow, I think we'd have to set up maybe the Ramsdale Theater. I think that would tend to do that. Or some town hall, I don't know of any other location that we can do that, but post it. We're gonna talk about Morton Park updates and then see what their input is and then kind of go from there. I don't like making decisions for people when it's their neighborhood. you know?
I went door to door down there, and I only went to about 8 places, so it's not. But when we were talking about putting in that little stationary thing, that was, one from the stationary thing, the equipment. And then I asked, well, what would you like? What would you like here? They're all taking their kids, but maybe if it's up to Casman. We use the
Right.
Casman. Casman has improved behind the school, their park. That's where they all seem to say it's fine to go up there.
Because there's nothing at Morton.
Well, they didn't really finish that way. When I asked them,
Yeah.
there's nothing at Morton's, but that's fine. I mean, do you want 2 parks within 2 blocks? I mean, 2 equipment things. I don't know.
I think this is one of those things, and when we meet in December, we get a chart out, and we start mapping out what our priorities are and what we'd like to do, and then start listing our priorities and just making sure we get to completion on some of those, because even Morton Park, we have the money, there should have been something picked out yet, but we want to start out with the citizens' comments first, right, and their input before we start designing something for them.
And what Morton
Yeah,
expects.
we should probably ask Morton's before maybe Jeff did speak with them, maybe not, but we should ask him.
Yeah, it's hard with Jeff not being here, and obviously Mickey, but I think this is a conversation I can have with Jeff. I'll email him, and whenever I do correspondence with Jeff, I'll include all of you, CC you on the bottom, and just say, where are we at with Morton Park? And we talked as a commission, and we'd like to do some input with the residents of that area, so whether that's a Manistee advocate help, and post it, that we'd like to have a public meeting. We could do them here, can't we, Kathy? Set it up here, a public meeting? Yeah, or at the Marina Municipal Building or someplace or whatever's
Well,
convenient.
you could ask them to attend our next meeting, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good time to do. That park will be brought up at our next meeting, and we'd like the citizen input.
Yeah,
Put it in
in the
there.
direction we should go.
Yeah, I like that. So, I would think that December is a really important time to lay out for 2022, so maybe that would be like a January meeting to include the Morton Park.
Sure.
It gives
I don't
them,
think you're gonna get too many people here.
not in December.
I mean, from the neighborhood in Lawrence, I'd be surprised.
But that would be the
But-
time.
But it's nice to offer.
I think we
You know,
should
so-
offer it, but I don't know if December would be bad, maybe go ahead and start shooting.
Yeah, I don't know why would we wait?
So invite the Morton Park residents
Mm-hmm.
to our December meeting to discuss Morton Park.
Yeah,
Well, why don't we just go to Morton Park and invite them to come join us?
In the winter.
Yeah.
DPW can build a temporary shelter there for us, heat it.
But I think it would be easy for them to come here and talk.
how would that get notification, like in the newspaper? Who would arrange that?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think it's a matter of notifying the Manistee Advocate and saying that we have funds available for Morton Park. We'd like the citizens' input. We'd like to invite them to our December meeting, and then they'll publicize it.
But I think you have to make sure Jeff knows.
Sure. Yeah.
And ask him first what Morton's, I think I'd meet with the manager of Morton's first to make sure that we,
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
ask what he
access.
found out,
yeah.
because there was an agreement, I forget for how many years.
100.
Yeah, but they were gonna donate money.
And they were gonna donate, remember we talked about asking them for the water hookup, because even
Yeah.
at a kid's park, you should have water hookups, but definitely for a dog park.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I'll do, I will contact Jeff, see where we are with Morton Park, and then also give them the idea of the meeting with the residents in December, at our December meeting. And then I'll watch your emails, and then, but you'll all be included in the correspondence of that, and then we'll see where you're at with that. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Got any roundtable discussion? I think tonight's a pretty quick meeting, to be honest with you.
I do.
All right.
So I'm fairly new, and I want to know what exactly is our objective as Parks Commission Board? What are we here to do?
We're an oversight commission that makes recommendations to the city and to DPW. This is my understanding of maintenance, future planning. We're all supposed to be a part of that, so, and this is what I've been on this commission for over 3 years now, almost probably 4. Lanny just before me. But what I've seen is that there's been such an inconsistency with our commission, people leaving, that nothing ever gets accomplished. And honestly, I don't really blame anybody in particular for the direction or way things go, because I think this commission has never been solid, to be honest with you, with the constant turnover. I mean, we have 2 vacancies right now. Even before that, it seems like when we make progress, people leave. And then all of a sudden it just gets pushed back to the back burner again. So what's happened in the past is the DPW's had to step up, whether it be Jeff or somebody else, and they've kind of taken the leadership role when technically that's supposed to be ours. So I think if anything, we have to change the foundation of what our commission is and of what our responsibilities are to get a solid footing to go forward. So we have we don't have the power to do anything, we just have the power to make recommendations, you know, and from what I'm finding is that should have been done a long time ago to the city council, not necessarily to the DPW. You know, we need to make our presentations known. All you have to do is contact Bill or somebody or even Kathy and say, we'd like to meet with the city council. And then they'll put us on their agenda and then we talk about any specific items that we have. But we've been, honestly, in my opinion, we just have been kind of pushed off a little bit just because we just don't seem to produce anything. That's my experience. And it was frustrating. I used to come to these city commission or these meetings and Landy remembers, what, 15, 20 minutes, Landy? And we say motion to adjourn and...
Well, if you have no citizen comments, you have nothing to discuss. You know, there weren't really any projects.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing on the agenda, it's a short meeting.
But
But I do have a question, Kathy. Has any equipment for Morton Park been ordered?
I'm sorry, Laney?
Any equipment for Morton Park been ordered? Has any?
No, I believe the last I knew for Jeff, Tim had borrowed the catalog and he hasn't heard anything back. So no, nothing has been ordered,
But Laney,
as far as I know.
Are we saying that we don't feel there's any projects?
No one presented.
Yeah, there were a couple things tried, like a broom ball thing, you know, different things, well, the tether ball. So, you know, there were things brought up, but, and I'm not sure how it evolves. And this is, I've not been on other commissions in other cities to know how they operate. But I don't, nobody has to listen to us. All we can do is make recommendations. That's the hard part. We believe we're representing the citizens. This is what we think they want. But somebody above us is making the decision in reality.
Without
All we
including
can-
us sometimes.
Yeah, and we're just making, and we only can make recommendations. We all, you know, feel strongly that the parks, they need more money so that we can have more maintenance people. We have to go to the city council for that. To me, that's the place to start, because it really all boils down to more money. I mean, Jeff does a bang-up job getting grants. I mean, that's how it seems like, you know, any big things are funded, but then there's no money to maintain them. And that's what's happened, like to the North River Walk. I mean, that can happen with Lighthouse Park, we get it done. If there isn't any thought about how we're gonna maintain it in the future, I mean, that's what, you know, Jane is doing, maintaining our parks. Somebody put in this nice little butterfly garden and everything else, but there's no thought how we're gonna maintain it. And the cost of maintenance never goes down.
But shouldn't that be built into the budget? If you're building something, you really have to maintain
And
it.
it should be
Well,
scheduled. I don't
you know,
we schedule maintenance as far as like.
You know, now-
Wasn't scheduled.
You know, let's face it, there's gotta be more money coming into the city because everybody's taxes went up, right? So, you know, back in the day when things weren't going so well, economy-wise. But to me, now they should start ramping up that, because there should be money, more money than in the past, in the budget, because property values alone went up. But, you know, people need raises, they need insurance, heating a place like this, so they gotta cut the pie. But our job is to make sure city council understands how important this is, and I appreciate Tim going and attending meetings, because that's where it really starts. Is, you know, we should be able to do all this stuff if we have more money.
It seems like most of the people I've talked to here are not aware. And I brought up when we were in this meeting in October, I'm like, last time we took a tour of the parks, none of you got out.
You're talking about city council?
Yeah, I go, none of you got out. We just drove. We just did a little into the parking lot, out of the parking lot. I go, you didn't observe anything. And I said, what they did like the idea though, is that to report back what are the conditions of the parks and what's wrong with them. And remember, we tried a while ago to assign all of you to certain parks. Bob's done a good job and come back with the conditions.
I'm going to start that again.
Yeah, because we need to do that, because
Yeah.
that's what they're looking for. So I can come back at every city council meeting and say, all right, Kelly went and reviewed this park, these are the issues that we're finding, and these are the corrective actions that we need to have. And then they can take that and they can look at it and they can do budget planning. Yeah, that needs to be taken care of, how much money it is, and they can approve it, and then we move forward. I always thought that idea was a good idea, because that's how we're accountable to what we have.
And
But
then people left.
Yeah,
we got
people left.
on board, and so it doesn't,
But we need, that needs to be a priority for next year, is that each one of us is accountable for our parks, and then coming back with a report that I can present to the city council, which I have no problem doing, you know, so, and then holds them accountable.
I'd like to see like the DPW, how they have that scheduled maintenance, like in an accounting in a building, it's a sinking fund that we know that the roof's gonna be replaced in 25 years. It
Correct.
may not look like it needs replacing, but we're gonna do that, because we've scheduled it, and, you know, we have the money set aside and it's paid for when we put it. And the problem with our parks, it's the Riverwalk. Now it's like all the boards need to be replaced, and all the little, what are those stanchion type things, they're all rotted, and the benches, and it's like so much. And then that part by the marina, the walls are rotted, and the tables to sit by the shuffleboard, you can't sit at, because those two have rotted, and it's like, everything is just rotted, and you look and it's all overwhelming, and James doing that other park, and that was just all overgrown, and it's like, if we just say, hey, we're gonna do the Riverwalk, well, that never got done this year, and it was rotted. Not the Riverwalk, but above, the marina thing, you know, those chairs. And I thought, do we have a routine maintenance on all these various parks? And then we're gonna look at, you know, Fred Schmark, and it's like you just said, we're gonna spend $35,000 on Morton's, maybe that money should go into an existing park and update that, you know, I mean, we're to maintenance on something that we already have to maintain it before it falls off the.
well, it would help if there was more than Mickey taking care of the park. I mean, let's start with that. There needs to be somebody else with him, at least. Maybe, there were 3 people at one time, right, Kathy?
I'm sorry.
Were there 3 people maintaining parks, just doing?
2,
2? Yeah, so you go back to the 2 and summer help.
yes.
No.
But after seasonals, 2.
Yeah. So now we have 1. So it's money. Putting money,
But you still, even with more people, you have to have a schedule and a responsibility. It was like in Birmingham, when I went to their Parks Commission a few years back, and that they emptied the parks, the garbage in the parks twice a day. And I said, even in winter? And he goes, yes, you just keep doing it. Well, I threw something in there, and I went back the next day to see, is it gone? And yes, they're doing it. I mean, they have he said, we have a schedule.
well,
And I thought-
Birmingham has a lot more money.
Yeah, they do. They do, but they have a lot more parks too. So, you know, in relationship, they are a lot more demanding on their parks as far as
Yeah.
expectations.
Right.
So,
I think it honestly is just, let's get back to what we had planned in the very beginning and have all of you assigned your parks. And then come back with a report, and things like what you're talking about that are issues, those get brought up to the city council.
what were you gonna say, Kelly? You didn't finish yours.
Well, I just feel like since I've started here, what have we accomplished? And if we're here to make a difference, then we need to make a difference. And I don't feel that I have up to this point.
Well, because a lot of,
Personally you have, and you've organized some people.
Well, sure, but
You've
that
done a
was
lot of work in terms of
But that was through
cleaning up
Manistee
the
Proud.
Riverwalk.
not the Parks Commission. I
Yeah.
mean, that was Manistee Proud.
Yes, yes, and yes. It's
I know where you're coming from. It gets discouraging when you're on a commission and you don't see progress being made. What's your point? Especially when you're.
I mean, you come here 1 month, a whole month goes by, nothing gets accomplished, and then we're here again, and the same thing happens again. So,
part of it is basically mobilizing what resources we can gather. And, you know, you're an important resource, and so am I and all of us. And we can just sort of use our own talents, and we mobilize other people to join us to do the task we want.
but what has been accomplished, say, in the last 3 years? in terms of seeing a difference in the parks?
Well.
I'm not saying there hasn't, I'm saying
No,
what has.
but
I
honestly.
can't think of on top of my head, but I know that was the year I had to do, we did the presentation together. I had a whole list of things that we accomplished. And there was probably a dozen things on it. I mean, an accomplishment is just getting a grant to improve the parks, you know. So I remember that being one of the things.
And we put the fiddlers in both of the pavilions, which has been an issue for quite a while. So
Yeah.
we accomplished that. I mean, there's
It's
little.
hard to come off the top of your head, is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I think there's things that we've accomplished, but I think we need to see, like the Lighthouse Park. I think that this golf course needs to be done.
Beginning to end.
Yeah, just things like that. When we start making headway and we get that. Honestly, I think the Lighthouse Park to me is like the cap on the top. You know, it's just like we get big projects done like that, and everything else, we start getting credibility and moving forward a little bit. I agree with what you're saying. It's frustrating to not see progress being made, but the problem is we don't lay out any progress to be made. You know, so and if we lay out the progress like we need to, and it doesn't get done, then we go to the city council. And then I'm gonna show up at every Tuesday night meeting and say, this is what we're trying to do, and we're getting resistance, or we're not making headway. And then they're gonna say, well, what do we need to do? And then if it's gonna be a money issue, then they're gonna say that needs to be budgeted.
Well, I think it's up to us to have the solution too.
Sure, absolutely. But also the accountability to make sure it gets followed through is what it does. And honestly, when I talk to everybody up here, it's all about, we never hear from you guys. You know, I mean, the Parks Commission has never come to the city council meetings and made their presentations, or, I mean, I think the parks are a big thing in Manistee. I really do.
They are.
But yet we're the quietest group, you know, and don't really come into, like, it's almost like we've just been happy with status quo. I'm not happy with status quo.
Then why are we quiet?
We can't, exactly. That's what we need to be more vocal. And I'm getting that way. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I mean, I really don't. It's like, but I'm not trying to approach it in a negative way. I want to be a positive way, and all work together.
Correct.
You know, I mean, honestly, bless Tom's heart, one extreme to the other. There's a middle, you know, someplace in between. Hold people accountable to it and what they need to be doing, but be nice about it, and just be assertive and try to get towards that common goal. I think we're going to get a lot. I think honestly, the direction where we're going is the right direction. But I wouldn't be. Please don't be frustrated, and let's just all work together, and let's make 22 even better than what 21 was, to be honest with you, because I think we can make the progress that we need to make. And I think, but it all starts in here.
So we need 2 progressive people to fill those seats,
Yeah,
to
we
join
should
us.
brainstorm on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I'll tell you this though, the city council is pro-park. They really are. They just need to be aware of what's not being done and what needs to be done, and then what progress we need to make it happen. And that's what I've seen when I attend these meetings. If we're here and we're presenting and we're talking to them, we go to the forefront, basically.
But I think you hit the nail on the head. They're pro-park, but they've never been in a park.
No,
So they don't mind
Well-
that they're poorly maintained and that they look terrible, and they don't seem to notice it.
The city council was supportive of Manistee Proud, and there were a few council members that volunteered their time.
yeah,
So, I mean, the
They
river
want it
walk is
done.
a park.
yeah.
Right.
But I think,
I have to either excuse myself soon or bring some closure to our discussion. Because I have a commitment I have to be out of here.
yeah,
My wife is not in good shape.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so, an hour is about the amount of time I can afford my meeting. Afterwards, I'll, volunteer otherwise, but I gotta go. So can we get some closure?
Well, I think where the closure is that when we meet in December, we're gonna come up with our agenda items that are top priorities for us. And then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna all make that happen, and then make the city council, the city, accountable for that. And the only way we can do that is by coming here and presenting what we have. But the main thing is what they want from all of you is the status of our parks, what needs to be improved, and what do we need to do.
So can we pick one park at a time? And
I think so.
focus on that and,
Absolutely. I think when like we said, we have so much to do
Yep.
that it gets overwhelming, but if we do one project at a time,
A lot of it's simultaneous, because for the Lighthouse Park, you need money, and that's a grant. I mean, that's maybe a 2-year project overall. You don't wanna just not do anything. I mean, I like the idea of working on Morton Park because that's certainly needy. And there's $35,000 out there,
Right,
apparently.
and that's meant to be spent right now.
Right,
So let's
So-
focus on that.
All right,
you know, I hope Jeff understands that whatever happened to the dog park in Morton Park.
I'll talk, like I said, I'll email Jeff, I'll find out what's the status of that, and I'll include all of you on that, and then we'll find out the status, and then let's meet, when we meet in December, talk about our priorities, and then what we wanna see accomplished in 2022, and then, that's our goal, objective.
And I want to reiterate something. When I said what has been accomplished, I did not mean there was nothing accomplished. I wanted to know what was accomplished because I'm new.
Right.
You know, if I'm gonna be on the commission, I
Here's my
wanna
objective, I got the
work on
tennis
something.
nets down. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
that's
that?
right.
After a lot of work.
Yeah.
Got the tennis nets down.
Yeah, I just,
What about the scheduling too? We didn't talk about that tonight. I don't wanna start talking about it, but we were working on the scheduling for the, like, First Street Beach.
The reservation center.
Reservations.
so city council likes it, we're going forward with it, and Bill gave me the responsibility of coming up with a plan, and we're gonna try to incorporate it in January.
Okay.
So it sounds like the Lions Pavilion is a done deal. We're gonna put a sign up for reservations, call this number, that board won't be used anymore. And then we're gonna use Lions Club as a starting point for other pavilions,
Yeah,
like
see
Fifth
how it
Avenue
goes. Yep.
and all the other ones, so. The city manager was, somebody from the city was here and said the system is there, it's already in the system.
Okay.
It's just a matter of working it, so we're gonna be going forward with that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing.
That's a big thing.
Yep, all right,
Okay.
make a motion to adjourn,
I make a motion we adjourn.
okay?
I'll second it.
All right, very good. Thank you, guys. Nice seeing you. Look forward to December. December what?
Thank you, Kathy.
Now you can enjoy your weekend.